Venerable Kaccayanagotta approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side, and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said, right view, right view. In what way, Venerable Sir, is there right view? So he's asking this question about one of the eightfold paths you remember? Yeah. In that we have done wholesome view or right view. So he's asking, what is right view? How will I know the view that I have right now, is that right or wrong? Yeah. Better than using words like right and wrong, the appropriate word is wholesome view or unwholesome view. How will I know the view that I am carrying is wholesome or unwholesome? This world Kaccana, for the most part, depends upon a duality. This is where we are moving into Buddha's path being equal to the Advaita path, talking about the same thing. So he's saying this entire world is depending on duality. Duality is Dvaitam, two. There is always a two. Yeah. Now, there's a specific two that Buddha is going to address going forward. Yeah. But you understood two? Right, wrong, good, bad, happy, sad, day, night. This is the way, this is not the way. Yeah. There's always Dvaitam. Yeah. The entire world is run on Dvaitam. My mind is constantly conflicted by Dvaitam. Everything, whether on the material side of my life or on the spiritual side of my life, I'm always caught up between Dvaitam. Wholesome, unwholesome, right, wrong, good, bad, happy, sad, pleasant, unpleasant. Yeah. Short, long. Very clear what he means. Now he's picking up a particular set of Dvaitam which is pertinent to Shunyata, to what you're going to do in the world. And what is that? Dvaita, he says, upon the notion of existence and upon the notion of non-existence. We'll understand this better. In Advaita, we studied that this Jagat is mithya. It is an illusion. Some people take it to an extreme and say that the world does not exist. It is not real. It does not exist. This is one view, the notion of non-existence. Some people, on the other hand, say, what rubbish? This table exists, the computer exists, I exist. Scientifically, matter exists. Even though science is doing its experiments and coming to that point where they are now not very sure whether it is matter or it is a wave, still there are people on that side who hold on to this very strong understanding and belief that everything exists. So what is true? Is non-existence true of the world or existence true? Is this Jagat really asatya, non-existent, or is this Jagat satya, existent? So he's saying, Kaccana, for the most part, this world depends upon a duality, the duality of existence or non-existence. But for the one who sees the origin of the world as it really is with correct wisdom, there is no notion of non-existence in regard to the world. I will explain this to you. And for the one who sees the cessation of the world as it really is with correct wisdom, there is no notion of existence in regard to the world. Don't get lost in the complication of the words. It's actually very simple. when you are in the void, you come to a point where there are no thoughts, no sensations, nothing. A moment comes when there is no breath. You forget that you are existing. You forget that there is a body. Yes, I'm talking about that pure void, okay? I'm not talking about just a quiet mind. We've left quiet mind behind long ago. Yes, we are talking about the complete void. When you are in this complete void, it is like darkness. There's just darkness in this void. Absolutely calm, absolutely quiet, absolutely peaceful. In this, after being in that absolute void, the first thought arises. And how does that first thought arise? In the form of a sensation. First, there is a sensation in the body. Yes, and then there is that first thought that arises. That thought takes a form. So that lightning behind me that you can see, that is that first thought taking its form in that void. That is the origin of your world. What Buddha is explaining here, we are all in our own worlds, each one of us. And from that void, the first thought arises. From those thoughts, desires and cravings and all those arise, and then this world opens up. That's how the world originates. And you experience this every morning. But we are so unaware, we do not recognize this happening. Yeah? This same world ceases every night, every single night. But we are so unaware, we are so lost in this world that we go from a worrying, open-eyed mind directly into deep sleep. And we are totally lights off. We don't understand the transition because we are not aware enough. Actually, we are not interested enough. For the one who gets interested, he can recognize this origin early in the morning and the cessation every night. The second example where Buddha said, if you were not able to do this, see it every morning and every night, just by listening to the words of the saints, the second way is to attain cessation, which is jhana 9. When you learn the jhanas, 8 jhanas are equivalent to the 8 dhyanas that came from the Rig Veda. They were taught to the Buddha. Buddha said, my craving did not go by this. I am just in the witness, so what? I can be in this witness, and at the same time I can notice so many thoughts in my mind, so much emotion. My craving has not gone, my aversion has not gone, so there has to be more. There has to be an understanding which is lacking. And he came up with jhana 9, where complete cessation happens. You can write down what the cessation is of. The cessation is of perception, feeling, and consciousness. Yeah? So it is cessation of vijnana, which is consciousness, sanya, which is perception, and vedana, which is feeling. This is possible only when you stay in the void for a long time. You become very comfortable with the silence of the void. And you are in the void, just there, quiet, no sensation, no thought, no mind, absolutely nothing there, and blip, you're gone. There is a complete cessation happening of vijnana, sanya, and vedana. Consciousness, perception, and feeling. And then you come out of it. This, Buddha said, is the second way. The first way is obviously it happens every morning and every night. But those people who have not reached that kind of sharp awareness with open-eyed daily routine and need a second gateway, this is their second gateway. through reaching jhana 9, they will experience exactly the same cessation. Now is your key. When you come out of your cessation, there you see the first thought arise. And when you see that first thought arise, then you recognize, oh, this is the origin. This is how my world begins. I only know my world. Yeah? Jayashri only knows her world. Lydia only knows her world. Yeah? Sriram only knows his world. Everybody has his or her personal world. This is how my world originates. Yeah? So, he gave us two. One, either through waking up in the morning and going to bed in the night. That is Advaita way. You figure it out on your own. You become so aware in your daily open-eyed routine. Yeah. If you cannot do it, then attain samadhis all the way to jhana 9. You attain cessation in jhanas, being completely aware and recognize this absolute blip, the end, and then coming back, and then you understand the true meaning of what all scriptures are explaining. Right now, it is just theory for the people who have not experienced cessation. Yes. And that's fine. You know where this path is taking me towards. But again, big warning, do not get into the craving of having a cessation. It will happen when it happens. You just become comfortable with the void. Become absolutely comfortable in that silence. Make silence your best friend. Yeah? When you're struggling in that silence and struggling, you're not comfortable yet. Yeah? Like when you learn to swim, some of us keep struggling in that water. Do you remember that? If you learned swimming, you remember those early days, you kept struggling in the water. You had to struggle a lot to stay afloat. And then a point came when now it's very easy for you to just float on the water. Yeah? You have to become that comfortable with the void to be able to see this. And when you see this, then it becomes your firm understanding. It becomes your firm understanding that this world arises and it falls. It arises and it falls. So this lightning behind me is just a symbol, an example to show you that's how the first thought arises in you. And then it falls away. Another thought arises and it falls away. Another thought arises, it falls away, and then that's how the gushing thoughts come up. You go into a dreaming state in the morning. And then, before you open your eyes, yeah, provided you have a good eyesight, a good eye that works, even before you open, there is an inner tan matra that we learned in Yoga Vashishta, an inner, I don't want to say inner eye because then you start imagining magical eyes inside. There are no magical eyes, but there's this inner sense of seeing that kind of, there's a sensation that I want to now open my eyes. So there is this inner tanmatra that works first. The eye opens, so you require an eye, you require your object. Maybe it is your ceiling because you're lying on your bed. That's what you see first. The eye consciousness comes up when the eye comes into contact with the color and form. Yes. And your world arises. That world plays for a few hours, and every night the fading happens of the eye consciousness first, and then the world fades away. We have all studied this in the previous suttas. It's not totally new what I'm telling you. Yeah. First, the eye is required, and then there is a form, and then the eye consciousness comes up. The eye consciousness comes up, and then there is eye contact. You remember? We've learned this. With contact comes a feeling, either pleasant or unpleasant. If there's a pleasant feeling, there is clinging. Even in an unpleasant feeling, there is clinging. Aversion is clinging. You think more about what you're averse to. Yes? And that's how arising happens. So, the dependent causation that we have learned before, that applies to every single arising. I'll use only one word now for thought, sensation, and the world. They are nothing but arisings. Just like this lightning arises, it stays for a while and it falls off. Like that, it arises, the arising stays for a while and it falls off. That is all that really is happening. There are only individual phenomena arising and passing away. Arising and passing away. There is no I over there. I is also a thought. That also arises, holds on to something, clings, craves, wants it, doesn't want it, does its drama, and that also dies. So very simply, he is telling you that moment to moment to moment, every thought, every sensation, every situation in life, every person, everything is just an arising like this lightning, and it is falling. What he is saying is that everything is phenomena. Every single thing is a phenomena. And the translation of that word in Pali is Dhamma. So everything is Dhamma. So all those who are doing Satipatthana, when we come to the last leg, when we say Dhammanupashyana, what does he mean? Dhammanupashyana? Pashyana is to observe or recognize the Dhamma that is arising and falling. So this is what he is explaining to you. That you be a witness and you just observe that in this void that is me, there is just an arising and falling. It's a thought that arises and falls. It is another sensation in my body that arises and falls. And if I'm emotional about something, there's an emotion that arises and falls. Everything is just phenomena after phenomena after phenomena. All this phenomena ends at the end of the day. The world ceases to exist at the end of the day. Is this very clear? What does he mean by origin of the world and cessation of the world? Yeah? Super clear? The natural way to experience it is being aware early in the morning and being aware late at night when you're going from your waking state to dreaming and deep sleep, and in the morning from deep sleep to dreaming to waking. We have seen this in all the scriptures. There is not a single scripture that does not talk about it. All scriptures from all religions, from all corners of the world, speak the same thing. All enlightened people say the same thing. Yes, there is no discrepancy there. Buddha was the one who devised a method with open eyes. How do I get there? He said you will be able to do your jhanas with open eyes once you practice the jhanas with closed eyes. So those who have learned jhanas know that you very easily can do jhana 1, jhana 2 with open eyes. Some of us can do even the higher jhanas very easily, which means we are able to recognize jhana 9, cessation of thought, the dying of this thought into the void with open eyes. So I hope I have clearly explained the meaning of the one who sees the origin and the one who sees the cessation of the world. So now we read that sentence again. For the one who sees the origin of the world, means the one who sees the arising of that particular phenomena, whether it is thought, sensation, or emotion or whatever. The one who sees the origin of the world as it really is, with correct wisdom. What is correct wisdom? No raga, no dvesha, no intellectual analysis. Just observing. Plain observing. The moment you get into intellectual analysis, you've messed it up for yourself. You're no more in witnessing, you've gone into the mind. Correct wisdom is right now I don't need to analyze. Right now I just need to observe this void. So one who is able to just see reality as it is with correct wisdom. There is no notion of non-existence. He never has this notion that there is nothing, that nothing exists. No, there is phenomena. Phenomena arise and then they fall. So there is no notion of non-existence in him. And for one who sees the cessation of the world as it really is, one who sees that this arisen thought or sensations, this phenomena, or even at the end of the day, the world completely ceases, the cessation of the world, as it really is, with correct wisdom, witnessing, not analyzing, not getting lost in thought, with correct wisdom. There is no notion of existence in regard to the world. Here existence implies that which is eternal, that which has essence. How can anything that which arises and dies away have any core essence in it? Any thought of yours, does it have any essence? Do you understand essence? Any great meaning, the great purpose of life, like it is something very, very important, on which life is based? Oh, the truth of the world was your great thought that just crossed your mind right now. The truth, the greatest truth? No. There is no essence in it. There is no existence in it. It does not exist forever. It is not eternal. So such a notion of existence will also not arise. If this part is clear, now you have to apply this to everything in life, including your belief of I or myself. Even when you say, I am Brahman, I am Atma, there only ego holds on to it. Have you noticed? Yes, clinging is there. There is adherence. And then again, you are lost in the same thing. You've not really got relieved of samsara. You're still holding on. So now let's understand what is he saying. He's saying this world Kaccana is for the most part shackled by engagement, clinging and adherence. What is engagement? First time you see something, you get engaged, you get interested, you get attracted. That is engagement. If it is pleasant and you like it, then there is clinging. I want it. If it is unpleasant also, there is an effort to push it away. That is also clinging. Remember that. Aversion is also clinging. Pushing something away from you is also clinging. You're repeating the same record in your mind 1,000,000 times. Why I don't like this. You are suffering. You are like that frog sitting in a boiling pot of water and just boiling and boiling and boiling. And you have only turned on the gas. The boiling water is also your creation. So both are clinging. Pleasant is also clinging, unpleasant is also clinging. And then adherence. Adherence is now insisting this is the way it is. I am going to be like this only. For the most part, this entire world is engagement, clinging, and adherence. And these are all nice flowery words, but we all have experienced this. Even with small thoughts, with little emotions, in relationships, at home, we are lost in engagement, clinging, and adherence all the time. But the one with the right view, what does he do? The one with the right view does not become engaged and cling. Yeah. So, who has the right view here? Again, the one who sees everything as phenomena, arising and passing away, arising and passing away. It is so foolish, so petty-minded to stick to something that is arising and passing away. It is a wave that is arising and you're holding on to the wave. Or it is like this lightning arising, which is almost ready to pass away and you're trying to hold on to it. Every thought, every emotion, every sensation, everything is just arising and passing away. And it is very petty to hold on to it. The one with the right view, when he starts seeing everything like that, then clinging, craving goes away. It drops away. It's a natural phenomenon. Yeah? So if you want to test if somebody is enlightened or not, this is the test. Do they cling on to it? Yeah? Or are they ready to just let go? Yeah? That does not mean you throw away your family and money and everything. That is also clinging. Aversion is also clinging. Remember that. Yeah? No, I am a sadhu. I am not going to think about money. I am not going to, you take that money from that person and tell me how much money is there. Oh, the clinging is in my mind. By not touching the bill of whatever currency, that does not mean not clinging. I want to know how much money I have got. I'm clinging in my mind. So I'm giving you an example of one extreme, which is the sadhu not touching money, and your extreme, hoarding more and more and more money. Both are clinging. Is this very clear? Buddha's path is the middle path. The middle path. So the one with the right view does not cling. He sees it. It's a phenomenon. It has arisen. It will fall. It has arisen. It will fall. So he does not have the second thing. The second point is mental standpoint. What is mental standpoint? Aisa hi hai. This is the way it is. This is a mental standpoint. Holding on to an idea, a belief, a concept, not being fluid, is holding on to a mental standpoint. The one with the right view will never be clingy about a mental standpoint. Next, adherence is not there in him. What is adherence? This is only the right way. Everything else is wrong. Yeah? This is adherence. So, he does not have adherence. You look within, how you get stuck onto things and then you want it that way only, and it is not any other way. So then maybe you're stuck in wrong view. And an underlying tendency is also not there. What is underlying tendency? There's an underlying soft current of aversion in me, or a soft current of craving in me, or a soft current of delusion, not seeing things as they are, is delusion. There's this underlying tendency. There are only these three tendencies. So you check if there is an underlying tendency. If there is, then it is not the right view. Yeah? He does not take a stand about myself. Yeah? He does not take a stand. He's flowing like the water because he sees everything is phenomena arising and passing away. Today my thoughts are for this thing. Tomorrow my thoughts can be against this thing. Right? You've noticed that same thing happening in you? One day you like something, next day that only same thing becomes unpleasant to you. Just phenomena arising and passing away. Don't give it too much importance. That is why don't hold on to anything. Only when you hold on to something, you take a stand. So don't take a stand about I. What is I or who am I? I started this session with the goal for you to walk on the spiritual path is to find out who am I. And now I'm telling you towards the end of this session that don't hold on to this I am this or I am that. Because the holding on is done by the ego. You're still keeping the jiva alive. Still keeping that ego strong. So don't take a stand. Not taking any stand. That is the middle path. Yeah? Middle path is not a compromise between clinging this way or clinging that way. That is not the middle path. It's not a compromise. Middle path is not taking a stand. Not holding to this, not holding to that. Whatever is, it's coming. Good. Everything is just phenomena. Arising, passing away. Arising, passing away. And this, the person who is in the void all the time, this is especially for people who have started the Shunyata retreat. You are in Shunyata now. Yeah? So you have to start using this right view. And how do you use the right view? Very simply, every desire, every thought, everything is just phenomena arising and passing away. And I can see it. I can see it and I don't hold on to this and I don't hold on to the opposite when it arises. Both are phenomena. Just be in the void. I am the witnessing void. I do not get entangled. I do not adhere to anything. I do not cling to anything. This is also okay. That is also okay. Everything is fine. Yeah? So there are few things that will start happening to you in this witnessing void. Maybe we can discuss that in one-on-ones. But when they start happening to you, please request a one-on-one. You do not have to wait for a retreat. There is a place on the website under attend one-on-one registration. You can just request for a one-on-one. And then we can discuss about where you are on Shunyata. Yeah. Those who have not reached Shunyata, you have a goal. Now you can see where Buddha's path is taking you finally. So number one, he does not take a stand about I or myself. He does not say I am Brahman also. That is also a stand. He does not say I am Atma. He does not say I am not Brahman. He does not say I am not self. Yeah? He does not take a mental standpoint. Very clear what it means? He has no perplexity or doubt that which arises is only suffering arising and what ceases is only suffering ceasing. His knowledge about this is independent of others, which means independent of what Ekta is saying or Buddha is saying. In your own experience of the void, you will see that this arising, this thought, this ego of mine, this little emotion of mine, this little sensation of mine, this is just suffering. Even if it is pleasant, even if it is about knowledge, even if it is about what you are reading, it is just suffering because it spoiled the silence of the void. Anything that spoils the silence of the void is suffering. Yeah? So this world, thoughts, everything just arises and falls. And it is nothing but suffering arising and suffering ceasing. Yeah? That is the meaning of that last line. So these are the two things that the person with the right view or the person practicing void with open eyes has to do. One, practice not taking a stand either this way or that way, yeah, which means not rigidly holding on to any thought, which also subtly implies not jumping into decisions from your side, letting the flow take the decision, which also means not being proactive and starting something. Because you're so much in the void being silent, you are not creating any more suffering. If it comes from my previous flow, I act. So if there is demand, I supply. If there is no demand, I am resting in the void. You see what I'm saying? You will start having most of your questions on this thing where you feel it's opposite of what you learned in the corporate world. Yeah? Or in this world to survive. The things that you have learned is about feverish, run, achieve, attain, be proactive. Yeah? All those things that keep you feverish in the world is what is good for a company, is good for your progress. And what you learn in the void from your own experience becomes exact opposite of that. And then you are like, what am I supposed to do? These are mostly the questions in Shunyata. Yes. And then you will start finding the answers within you. You will recognize where the suffering comes from. The suffering comes when you give birth to the arising. I'm calling this the arising. The arising is a thought, is an emotion, a conversation within me, self-talk, decision, yeah, passion, competition, whatever. Anything that I allow to disturb my void. And last clue for the person on the path of Shunyata, you will never have a question, what do I do from this quiet mind? Where do I go? Means you have not reached the void. That's the most foolish and petty question to ask. Yeah? So that means you've just got there intellectually. You've not really got there. Because when you taste gulab jamun, you can't say, what do I do with the gulab jamun? You love the gulab jamun. Whoa! This sweetness, this nectar. Oh, this is something for the gods. You cannot say, okay, I got to the quiet mind. What do I do with it? Okay. Just analytically. Only intellectually there. Yeah? So you start doing your self-analysis now. Where are you? And what you have to do to get to the void. It is in this way, Kaccana, that there is right view. All exists. Kaccana, this is one extreme. All does not exist. This is the second extreme. All exists is one extreme. All does not exist. This is the second extreme. Both are extreme viewpoints. Till the time you are caught here or here, you are going to be struggling in your mind. What is this spiritual path? Yeah? If you are struggling, you are at fault because you are holding on to this extreme or that extreme. The sensible thing to do is the middle path. Not taking a stand here, not taking a stand there. without veering towards either of these extremes, the Tathagata teaches the Dhamma by the middle. By the middle means the middle path. This you remember? This is the dependent origination. With ignorance as condition, volitional formations come to be. With volitional formations as conditions, consciousness comes to be. With consciousness as condition, name and form come to be. With name and form as condition, the six sense bases come to be. With six sense bases as condition, contact comes to be. With contact as condition, feeling arises. Feeling comes to be. When there is feeling, what happens? There is craving for a pleasant feeling or aversion for an unpleasant feeling. Yeah, so craving / aversion. With craving as condition, clinging comes to be. With clinging as condition, existence comes to be, or habitual tendency. With habitual tendency as condition, birth comes to be. Okay? With birth as condition, sorrow, lamentation, pain, despair, and death come to be. We know this. Yeah, we've done this dependent origination. What is he talking about here? He's talking about each individual arising. Every thought comes from ignorance. In Satipatthana practice, let me not react to it. What am I doing really? I am not getting into that cycle, that vicious cycle of craving and clinging and the whole drama that we just read. So that I don't get into this drama. When this craving, clinging, everything just fades away, the entire arising then dies. Yes, and we have noticed this again and again. Every single phenomena is born, every single phenomena dies. Every single thought is born, every single thought dies. Every single emotion is born, every single emotion dies. Yeah. Such is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. So he calls this a mass of suffering. The body, the mind, and the ego. Yeah? The jiva is the mass of suffering. In that only this arising of thought happened, and then it went on to craving, clinging, and birth of more problems, more drama. Yeah? And then finally even that drama did come to an end. However long your drama lasted, there was a point when it ended. But with the remainderless fading away and cessation of ignorance comes cessation of volitional formations. So for the one who's practicing the void, this is for you. What is ignorance? That desire to involve myself in every single thought and give it energy and get lost in that drama in my mind first and then create the drama at home. There is this urge, this desire to get into that internal drama first. That urge itself is what I am practicing when I am in the void to let go. I do not indulge in this thought which has arisen. So, with the fading away and cessation of ignorance, there's cessation of volitional formations, means impressions or sankharas that are in the mind, they get ceased. With the cessation of volitional formations, cessation of consciousness, either eye consciousness, ear consciousness, mind consciousness. There is no consciousness arising to continue the chain. With the cessation of consciousness, cessation of name and form. Yeah. With cessation of name and form, cessation of the six sense bases. With the cessation of six sense bases as condition, the contact ceases. With cessation of contact, there's cessation of feeling. With cessation of feeling, there's cessation of craving. With cessation of craving, there's cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging, there's cessation of the habitual tendency or existence. With the cessation of the habitual tendency, there's cessation of birth of new drama that could have come up from it. Yeah. With the cessation of birth, there is cessation of sorrow, cessation of pain, cessation of lamentation, cessation of despair. Yes. That is how you can cease the drama. You can end the drama. Such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. That's it. That completes the sutta. Those who are absolutely clear, have understood this thoroughly, your practice starts now. Yes. And for the ones who are not there yet, again, warning, don't crave. I have to get to the void, I have to get to the void. The more you crave, the less it's going to happen. Okay? So, I just be, right? Just do my practice, whatever, satipatthana, the jhanas, or the metta, whatever you do. Just do and automatically you get there. First, you have to become comfortable with the void. Become comfortable in that silence. You can't say, what do I do with this quiet mind? It's such a silly nursery school question. Now you please have to graduate. Yeah, no more nursery school kids here. How can you not know the taste of silence and not know what to do with silence? That's what I have been craving for. Wow, I got here. Fantastic. Now be there. Yeah, be in the silence. Bear the power of the silence. Bear it. Bear it. Learn to become friends with the silence. Become comfortable with the silence. And see if you can maintain the void. Means no thoughts, no sensations, even in the break. You get up, you go to the restroom, or you get up, have a meal. Is the void there? Thoughts are just like images in the periphery somewhere, just hovering, not bothering me, not distracting me. I'm absolutely identified with the void as the void. Then, great. Pat yourself on the back when you get there. Become comfortable with the void, because you really are wrongly identified with the body and mind, and that is what is creating the suffering. It is that simple. The day you attain complete shunyata, then the job is done. Then you're enlightened. Yes. Just get to that void and learn to become friends with the void. I gave you the end goal of Buddha's path. I showed you where the entire path is going. Yeah. So, to compare between Advaita and Buddha, when you come to jhana 6, you have come to, you are the witness. Even Buddha got there very quickly and he said, what? So, I am the witness. Big deal. Didn't take my craving away. Didn't take my aversion away. I still have hatred. I still have competition with the other monks. I want to be better than the other monks. Yeah? What is this? No, just being the witness is not taking my suffering away. So, being the witness is the first stage of enlightenment, if you want to call it enlightenment, he said. There has to be more. So, jhana 6, okay? Not even 7 and 8. Jhana 6. He said, no, there has to be more. I will not call myself enlightened till the time my suffering has ended. And what did he call suffering? Every single arising in the mind is suffering. Every single arising. Yeah? Thought, emotion, sensations. All of this is suffering. Till the time I am bothered by this again and again and again and again, it doesn't matter what the thought is about. Either it is your spouse or your parent or your child, or if it is office work or even seva. People get bothered even there because they are so attached to their seva. Yeah? Anything that is bothering you is suffering. Buddha said, if this suffering is there, I do not consider myself enlightened. Sorry. The teacher even told him, come now, you sit with me and you teach. He said, no. For me, enlightenment has another level, another meaning. It has to end the suffering in my mind. Otherwise, I cannot call myself enlightened. Just because I've attained the witness, it has not taken away my anger. And I don't want to be amongst those yogis who are called enlightened yogis with anger and who shout and curse and have craving for money. I don't want to be in that category. So he declined the throne of a teacher and he started meditating, and he was the one to discover Jhana 9. So if you are very sincere about your path, call yourself enlightened only when this suffering in your mind, the arisings that are there, the rising and falling, they become like a play on stage. It does not take my peace away. My actions are not dependent on it. And soon they will stop bothering you. They will bother only till the past karma is not exhausted. No? Once your past karma is exhausted, they won't even arise. Why do you start with Anapana? Because you are aware only of duality. So you start with duality. There is an object and I am the subject. Knowingly I am in duality with the intention that just collecting the mind, taking it away from all these arisings that are bothering me, collecting the mind, for a while the mind gets pushed into the void. And we are experiencing that. Yeah? It happens very naturally. Very easily you go into the witness. It's just that some teachers explain it, some teachers don't explain the witness part. Buddha very clearly explained it, but he said that you cross all of these and then I'll explain it to you properly. Same reason you do Satipatthana. Yeah? You sharpen your awareness in Satipatthana so that you become very strong in your non-reaction. Yeah? In the jhanas, you use that sharpened awareness, using the same sharpened awareness from Satipatthana in your jhanas, because you're going through the levels of the mind. Yes, that's how in jhanas you automatically go to witnessing. Nobody has to teach you. It's a very natural thing. Yeah? Don't lose patience because this is a long path. Yeah? Now you become comfortable with your quiet mind that you have attained in jhanas. And then you see there are layers of silence. And as you go deeper into the layers of this silence, you hit the void. And now you have to become comfortable with the void. Comfortable, just like floating on water. That comfortable. In metta, you recognize the nature of this void. And that's how you can radiate that love. You can radiate that kindness, the compassion, the joy, and the equanimity to all beings. If you've not recognized only the nature of the void, and if you're not feeling that softness, how will you be able to radiate? You will not be able to radiate. And if you don't radiate, you don't become full. This is a very different thing. In the world, you have learned that by taking, by snatching, by grasping, you will become full, you will get more. Here in the void, by giving you become full. And that's the real experience of metta. when you just give out that compassion, that love, that softness, that equanimity, and you come into that bubble of softness within you, that's where you again hit the deepest level of void, the shunyata. And now you can easily practice what I taught you today. Not bending to this side or that side. No extremes. The middle path. Just the middle path. Middle path is not a compromise between the two extremes. What is the middle path? Please write it in capital letters in your book. Middle path is equal to not taking a stand. Not taking a stand. Not taking a stand as this, not taking a stand as that. Not holding on to this thought, not holding on to that thought. Not holding on to this emotion, not holding on to that emotion. Just abide. Abide in the shunyata. That quiet void behind. Arisings come, they go. They will come because of my past karma. Do not expect that arising should stop. Okay, now one more thing that will happen in the void. Now you're waiting that all these thoughts should go away forever. Not possible till you are in this body. Okay, I hope I'm taking away some very dear desire of yours that I will have a mind in which there are no thoughts ever. Very nice poetry must have been written about empty mind, but that is not the meaning. It is not possible till you exist in this body-mind complex. Yeah. Whatever is the karma of this body, those thoughts, those emotions will keep coming. But now that I have stopped identifying with the body and mind, and I have started resting as the void, now I don't get bothered by them. Do you get bothered by children playing outside the building? No, they are doing their own noise, they're doing their own thing. They come, they go, they're just there. Like that. These thoughts, these emotions, they'll come, they'll go. You are not holding on to them. You are not taking action on them. You are not driving the decisions of your life on them. You're resting in the void. If a request comes, there is a demand, please give me this, you supply. That's how you act. This also I'm telling you how you're acting. I'm not saying that you're not doing actions. Of course you will do actions till you are in body. If there is a demand, there is a supply. There is no demand, no supply. You will just be resting. You will just be resting. And when you supply, there is no big ego. I am supplying. I am doing this for my family, or I am doing this for seva. There is no ego there. There is no I existing because you are completely settled in the void, in shunyata. Now do you understand why he used the word shunyata? Anything other than shunyata would not have fit this understanding of being in the middle path, not taking a stand. How do you not take a stand to this extreme or that extreme? Only the word shunyata or zeroness works perfectly for this.